Matthew 4 and Luke 4 and 5. 2 Corinthians 13 has this phrase, examine yourselves whether you are in the faith. I begin with that word because this is the same word, pyrazo, which is translated as the temptation or the trial of Jesus in the wilderness with Satan. It's a better, I think, translation of that word is an examination that can go one of two ways. Well, here's where two stories collide in our discussion today, our story. Story number one, we have already heard from John 1:18 that Jesus is a unique theos, one who is a co-creator with Yahweh. Over that dark line as we've described in the Old Testament, everything below that line is created. Everything above that line is not created. He's an uncreated Elohim who is with the Father, and he co-creates with the Father everything that's in the world, including spirits and humans. It's a big idea, but that's what we get out of John 1. This unique theos has now come to earth in the person of Jesus, and we've already had at the baptism God say, "This is my beloved Son," which is a way of saying he is the one that is the heir of my throne, the heir of my rule. He is my unique loved one who is going to put into fulfillment all the stories of the Old Testament about him coming to the earth, God coming to the earth and fulfilling new covenant promises and so forth and so on. But he is the one, and we've been introduced to him early on. Story number two, Deuteronomy 4:19. Go back to our Old Testament. Take heed when you see all the host of heaven and you feel driven to worship them and to serve them, which the Lord your God has given to all the peoples under the whole heaven as a heritage. Deuteronomy 29:26, Israel went and worshipped them, gods they did not know and that God had not given to them. And Deuteronomy 32:8, when the Most High divided up mankind, he set the boundaries of the peoples according to the number of the heavenly assembly. So when God divides the world into districts or nations, he gives provisional power. Again, Old Testament story we've been through many times. He gives provisional power or authority to created spirits. Humans, on the other side of the coin, have often worshipped them and created covenants with them, and that's the story then of the Old Testament as kind of which God do you worship? And, of course, Israel and the nations will compete in that issue. Well, between the Testaments, and this is something, again, we have not seen in the Old Testament and we're just told about now in the New. Between the Testaments, it has come into view, especially in Jewish literature, the idea that created Elohim have given their authority to one specific Elohim. Paul calls him later, 2 Corinthians, the theos of this world. Notice again above the dotted line, all of these are theoi, or Elohim. And there is no name for this being in the Bible. He's called the Satan or the devil, both titles. Jesus will call him that numerous times as well. So it's an established idea that's true, that Elohim have given their power to one leader. Well, here is story number two, as this leader has noticed this story here unfolding, and he in some sense comes to earth, and now we have this examination. This is going to go one of two ways. Here's the text. Then the devil, this is one of the conversations, the devil taking him up on a high mountain, showed him all the kingdoms of the world in a moment of time, and the devil said to him, all this authority I will give you and their glory, for this has been delivered to me. Now you have to ask, is he making an error there, that the devil has not been given that kind of power? I'd recommend absolutely not. This is exactly the story that we've seen, and notice that Jesus does not disagree with him at all. Therefore, and then the devil says, I give it to whomever I wish. Therefore, if you, Jesus, will worship me, all will be yours. What he's saying is, if you get behind me, become second in power to me, then I'll make you my co-ruler. Luke 4:8, and Jesus answered and said to him, get behind me, Satan. Now there is question in the original Greek text as to what is actually said here. Matthew 4 has away with you, and late manuscripts in both Matthew and Luke have this phrase, get behind me. Now if this latter reading holds, that get behind me, that's the same word for come after, as in Luke 9, if you desire to come after me. So really what Jesus is saying is the opposite of what Satan said to him. If you follow me or worship me, Jesus says, no, you you get behind me. You follow me. Now, I don't believe Jesus is asking Satan or even saying, it'd be nice if you leave me alone, whatever. He's actually, this is the command that changes the authority of the cosmos right here. He is saying, Satan, it's now time for you and your forces to line up behind me. I am the unique Theos who has come to earth. I am second in command to Yahweh. You are now below me. So it's quite an impressive story, of course, in the flow of the narrative. So think of the order of the Gospels as we've seen it so far. Mark 1:13 is this examination, and Mark 1:21, these beings start to say, I know who you are. Matthew 4:10, fall into line behind me, Jesus says. Then Matthew 8:29, they start saying, the demons, you've come to torment us, please let us go into the pigs, a story we'll talk about. Luke 4:8, here we go again, get into line. Luke 4:34 and 4:41, the demons all say, I know who you are. So what has happened? And let me just read this to you. This is what I've written in the margin of my own Bible. Satan's rule, originating early in the Old Testament, is now over officially, though still felt and followed, kind of like a ground war in which troops are not necessarily sure who is winning. Jesus' rule has officially begun, literally on the ground, as Yahweh's ruler over the world, to be both believed and followed. Only demons catch this in the story, as we'll see, consistently. From here on out, they will always bow down to Jesus when they meet him, Mark 3:11. Jesus' kingdom is to be believed by humans as they see it developing in front of their eyes, while Satan's kingdom is still experienced, especially by those who follow and worship them, these gods. But, and here's the catch, a kingdom divided against itself will not stand. So let's see how that plays out in the story to come.